Okay, I'm gonna show you how to do basic capturing and editing with Pinnacle Studios 12. Um, I know that Pinnacle Studios 14 or maybe 16 or whatever is the latest. I guess it kind of depends on when you're actually watching this, but want to show some basics of basically how to capture and edit videos on here. I personally use it to capture PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and GameCube games for my Let's Plays. However, you can use it to capture anything with a removable SD card or anything like that, or an S-video or composite cable. So I am just gonna walk you through the basics here. The proper setup for your video is probably going to be the most important part. Um, do this before you even consider starting to do any kind of capturing. Um, you really will not have to worry about the bottom three, but top four there, I will go into a little bit of detail in each one of them. So you could set your audio and your video to capture from different sources if you want to. Um, However, yeah, if you're using like a Dazzle or something, I would collect them both from the same place. So, um, as for the standard, if you live in North America or in Japan, go with NTSC. If you're living in Europe, go with PAL, and I believe if you're in Eastern Europe and in Russia, I don't know about China, but you want to set it for CCAM. Um, you can also set it to 4:3 or 16:9. If you are doing a 16:9 that is letterboxed, I would capture it in 4:3. I will get into a little detail with that later on. Um, As for the scene detection, I would set it to just avoid that. I would just do it manually. Because if your processor is thinking about to split up some of the scenes while it's actually recording, that can lead to drop frames, and you really don't want that because it can really mess up your video. So. Now with the capture format, if you're doing a Let's Play or something where there's a lot of movement and stuff on the screen, I would go for MPEG 1/2 over the other one AVI, and I would set it for doing it at the highest quality. If you set it for AVI, there's a greater chance for dropped frames, and sometimes with AVIs, if a frame is dropped, the entire video is totally screwed up. In PEG 1/2, if you do get a whole bunch of frames, it won't necessarily screw up the entire video, and will actually still make it playable. But as for the product preferences, I'd mostly leave this screen alone. You can kind of mess up your videos if you really don't know what you're doing. Um, the one exception is the stuff on the lower left part of the box there. That is the format and stuff that you actually record new videos in. I would set this one up to probably one of your higher ones. If you're going like through a Dazzle or whatever, 1280 by 720p is fine. You don't have to go with like 1920 by 1080p or anything like that. As far as I know, you can't actually get anything that will capture that high. At least not for right now. There's nothing that will actually import things by HDMI or anything like that. So the video and audio preferences screen is really not going to be used a whole bunch. This basically is going to be for setting up your microphone if you decide to do voiceovers or whatever. With resizing the actual video, even though it kind of makes it sound like you can do it here, really you can't. The thing that you want to do is right over the picture box that says Pinnacle there on the screen, there is a slider right above it, and if you move the little marker in the middle there more towards the right, it'll actually enlarge the Pinnacle screen. So do remember that this is just for a preview box. This is not the actual size that it's going to be when it's rendered out. This is just so you can see if there's going to be something particularly wrong with the actual video that you're looking at. So, okay, now on to your capturing source. Select the top one if you can only do this for S video and composite. Basically, it's the one that you're gonna want to use if you're recording through a Dazzle. So the second one is if you're recording either by FireWire directly from a camcorder or USB or have a actual memory card like a SD card or something. That is probably going to be the best one, but again, your options are kind of limited with that. As for the actual DVD, you can actually strip it off from certain DVDs if you want, or if for some reason your camcorder has only an actual record option for a DVD. So, but that is probably going to be the worst one because that is going to really limit your actual amount of capture time and capture format and stuff like that. So, if avoidable, I would pick the other two before the third option there. So I do not have this machine set up with my Dazzle, but this is basically the main type of screen that you would get when you are actually capturing something. When you collect information from an analog source, be a VCR or one of your game stations or whatever, you can actually go in and set things like the hue, saturation, that kind of thing. So you can change it that way on how it looks. If you're going by DV, I'd probably consider actually going in with a better program than this and doing color correction there. So, um, but anyways, the two things that you really want to look out for is one, you want to look out for actual drop frames, because sometimes you'll record a video and it'll be like it'll drop like say 700 frames or whatever, and you would think that that'd be really bad, but when you actually watch it, all the audio is synced up and the video doesn't seem to be missing anything or whatever. So, um, and there are also times that it'll drop like maybe 15 frames and it will be totally screwed up. You'll be watching a video and say like after an hour or so, the audio track will seem to be off by like 5 minutes or something, and you have to actually record it again. So don't just take the program's word for it. So, um, now what I do is I record actual audio alongside my recording video. So, what I usually do is I start up my recording of the video first, and then do the recording of the audio. And if you do it that way, I would suggest looking at the actual time and see what the difference is between the time that you started the video and the time that you started the audio recording, and just make a little a mention of that so that you know how far forward to actually move your audio up in the video so that it's actually synced up. So, okay, after we have recorded our video, we're gonna want to actually import it to start editing it. Um, I am going to be editing a 16:9 widescreen video that I shot before, and I am going to show you how to get rid of the letterboxing for it. Um, do not worry that the preview pane is 4:3 because when we select other things, it will re-expand up to 16:9 with the original 4:3 image still in it. So now for us to add our audio file, we go over and select on the left column there the little music clef. We will navigate to our actual audio file, the folder that it's in, and we will select the actual file, and after a while we'll usually have to wait for it to actually go with add product, because we'll actually scan through the audio file just to make sure that it's an audio file and all the other stuff is correct with it before we can import it. Also, different types have different actual icons and stuff. Usually, ones with video, they will appear to have kind of a celluloid reel right next to them. Like MIDI will have a like basically a block with a kind of a wavy line in it, whatever. The one that I selected was an actual WMA file. That's why it looks like basically a Microsoft icon. So um, you might have to wait a couple of seconds, as I said, for it to actually show up with the add to project. But after that, do your audio syncing with what I told you before. That you want to mention at least the difference between the time that you started the audio and the video recording. So, okay, this is what the 4:3 letterbox version is going to look like before we actually do any zooming in with it. So, okay, to get to this dialog box, first thing that we're going to want to do is actually select the first frame that we want to start off with this 16:9, which usually is going to be frame 1. Then we're going to want to go to the camcorder icon to the left of My Movie down there, which is right above the timeline. Then when that thing opens up, you want to make sure and go down to the plugin icon. Then we're gonna want to select pan and zoom to bring a video from 4:3 letterbox up to widescreen like this. After you select pan and zoom, go in and I would set the zoom thing for 2.75. 25 will probably fold it up a little better. However, it won't render out exactly right. It's kind of similar to on high def TVs, when you push the zoom format button, the actual image of 4:3 will expand to a little greater than 16:9 frame. Um, they do that basically to match up with the actual lines drawn. But so like here on YouTube, play it safe and go with 24.75. Um, if you're editing and gonna be bringing this to a disc or whatever to watch it on a DVD or whatever, you might want to go with 25. However, do note that it might be a little off, so just keep your actual file around until everything looks correct. So finally, we headed to make our movie now. I have MPEG-4 selected as my default. Um, However, although you do not have to buy MPEG-4 support from Pinnacle Studios, you still do have to get the serial number to actually use it from them. It is free, just they will email you the actual serial number to use. Um, you put it in by going up to help and dragging down to product registration, so, and then putting in the number. So you might have to do that with some of your other stuff if you decide to get like extra discs or do extra kinds of updates or whatever that aren't free. But um, anyway, I use a custom preset. Um, it's not exactly like the one that they give you already included in the program suck or anything. It's just I like to have a little more control over what I render it as. 720 by 400 will not render as a high def, so you will have to manually set it as a high def when you go in there. And 4,000 kilobits per second is really overkill, especially if you're recording from an analog source, like from your Dazzle or whatever. It might be okay if you're going from a digital source, like from one of your memory cards or a camcorder with FireWire or something like that. Um, and I think that it'd be too much for even going with the DVD, so um, I'm gonna be setting it for a little bit less here. So I would just leave the audio settings as they are. Um, you're not gonna get really too much more out of your video if you set it to higher or whatever. If you do have like a 5.1 audio source and you want to render it as a 5.1 audio and actually play it back on a DVD or Blu-ray player or whatever, go ahead. But leaving it as stereo, that should be okay, at least for most. Um, Also, I would leave your frame rate thing alone. Usually, that's going to be what it's going to come out as default from what you recorded it as. However, there will be a couple of times where if you capture from, say, a high def source, which usually has like a 30 frames per second, and you want to set it up to that instead of 29.97 or whatever, feel free. But um, the things that you really want to change probably are going to be the actual resolution of the video. I would not set it for anything higher than 1280 by 720, but if for some reason you want to set it to higher, like if you had a higher actual source to record from or whatever, like a digital one, like from a camcorder, um, feel free, but 1280 by 720 should be fine for most. Um, Now for the actual bit rate and stuff that you want to have it as, since I recorded from an analog source, I set it for 2000 kilobits per second. Um, Really, you're not gonna get any better from setting it at like 4000, like you said before. And if you set it for like 1024 or whatever, it's not gonna be quite as crisp. So 2000 seems to be the honey mark. So plus this way you don't actually render out the video too large. Because even though I think videos on here can be like up to 4 gigabytes in size, really that's too much because you gotta remember you actually gotta upload this thing. So and um a video like a little over 15 minutes at 2000 kilobits per second, even on a cable modem, it's going to take you well over an hour to do. So um, I really would not go for a large file size. The reason that this one says that it's so large and stuff is because I haven't to actually cut this one down. So um, but usually they're going to be like maybe about 300 megabits, or megabytes, sorry, or maybe a little less. When you used to do it a little over 10 minutes, the way that it was before, I think it was like 166.7 or something like that. But anyways, as for the actual frames that you have, the frame rate thing that it says, really it usually doesn't render out at that. Like me, I have 29.97 or whatever, and it usually renders out quite a bit less than that. I would say for something for YouTube like this, probably aim for a frame rate little over 22. Um, Usually they'll render out at like a 23.84, 24.67, or whatever. So I mean, it's not like you have to get it perfect every time. So um, but that is one thing to kind of concern yourself with. Well, anyways, before I go, just wanted to say that this is how I record my videos. If anybody has any comments or suggestions or questions or whatever, feel free to either email me or just leave a comment below. I will see you guys later, so have a good day.